This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
You've tuned into a very special show this Saturday morning. This is Bill of Rights on NDTV Hindu. I'm Cuckoo Alex and I bring you a show that gives voice to your concerns and questions as a consumer. We get you reports, stories and discussions with consumer activists that will answer those queries as well. Here's what we have in store for you this time. If you have taken a life insurance policy and are sure that it will stand your loved ones in good stead at their time of need, we caution you on things you must look into to ensure that happens. If you're all set to go to a whole new place to pursue your studies, we tell you what should you check for beforehand. And if that costly equipment you just bought has stopped working from the word go, we tell you how you could resolve the matter. All that and more only on today's Bill of Rights. This story is of a widow who had a double struggle to face. First, she had to deal with the loss of her spouse. Then she had to battle it out in court for 8 long years before she could get the insurance money due to her. Bertila tells us about the widow of a labourer who is forced to approach the justice system over insurance issues after an accident claims her husband's life.
In 2001, an accident claimed the life of a government manual worker. His widow had to face an ordeal when she made a claim on his insurance policy. Her claim was rejected on the grounds that it came too late, which had forced her to turn to the consumer court.
After perusal of documents, the Honorable Forum decided that the Welfare Board opposite party have to pay a sum of rupees 1 lakh for non-renewal of insurance in time, which amounts to deficiency in service, and a sum of rupees 10,000 towards compensation and 1,000 rupees towards the cost.
In this case, the victim was also registered with the Tamil Nadu Manual Workers Social Security and Welfare Board.
Person, when he is a member of the Welfare Board, and the board who takes all the members' insurance, it is bounden duty of the Welfare Board to keep the insurance alive by paying the premium and following up the policies. When any eventualities happens to the members of the Welfare Board, it is bounden duty of the board to take care and to secure the insured amount.
The case underlines the need for better awareness among policy holders. Under government rules, injury or death of a worker in an accident while on duty should be reported to the district labour officer within 3 days. And the death certificate or a post-mortem report should be made available within a month. In case of delay, a certificate from the Tahsildar should be attached. In Chennai, Bertila, NDTV Hindu.
A consumer rights activist who joined us for a discussion on this case had this to say.
Well, sir, in a case, an untoward incident like this really happens, and in a particular case like this, wherein some information is wrong or incorrect or factually not appropriate, or maybe there's something missing in that particular document which someone else, probably the deceased person, had access to or had knowledge of, and now obviously cannot be retrieved. So what do you do in a case like this? How do the people who are actually left behind to deal with the tragedy, how are they supposed to cope with a problem like this?
Most of the cases, the kith and kin may not aware about the any policy made by the deceased. So they have to approach the official in the department and get some information about the deceased. Right. First, that is the vital information. Then by any corrections should be made in the application can be carried forward by the official as well as the kith and kin. They can do it, right, because it is an occupational death. So the management should support.
Right. While you've said that, is it different for maybe a person who is working with the government and maybe somebody who is with an unorganized sector like the one in the story?
In this case, it is a government sector, because the corporation or the managed by the government.
Right, yeah.
Most of the accidents, the occupational death in factories and in working places, some other places happened. It is covered under Workmen Compensation Act.
Right, okay.
They have the separate forum, and you have to file an application and get the compensation.
So are
it
the
will be
rules
decided.
different for such a case? Are the documents also maybe different for
Yes,
such a case?
different. Because it's every factory should be covered by the insurance, umbrella insurance or some factory insurance. They have their own third-party insurance and other things, and they have to file before the appropriate forum. It is a workman compensation tribunal headed by labor department.
Okay.
It's a commissioner.
Usually in a time like this, what's the speed recovery time for the people to actually get their due or the compensation after the person has died? Is it the responsibility of the employer, or is the employee should go ahead and say that this is what has happened to me, so I need to get my compensation?
In workman compensation, they have to prove there is an accident. Then only the insurance company, on behalf of the management, will pay the money. The right away the management will not involve, but the management indirectly help the employee to get the compensation from the insurance company.
Right. Now, in this case, the insurance company was denying that compensation money for some time, saying it was too late. Yes. They say that the responsibility could have been the insurance companies, but if that doesn't happen, what is the consumer really left with? Can they take the insurance company to court?
Yes, really. In this case
like
also.
in this case.
In this case also, because
have you had many examples come
in
to
this
you like
case,
this?
actually, they did not pay. The welfare board did not pay the premium in time. That is the problem, and they have rectified. They have direct the forum directed the welfare board to rectify the same and pay the compensation.
Right.
But most of the cases, if the premium is paid in time, you can
It will fall in place later.
yes.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Because the premium is paid by the management, not the individual.
Okay. All right. So it is, you're saying, a hugely a managemental responsibility as well as the individual concern.
But
And
individual will not aware because
Yeah.
but he is not directly paying the subscription
Okay.
or premium. The welfare board in this particular case, but other cases, insurance is for whole the employee, whole of factory, whole of management.
Right. For the kith and kin to claim some kind of a compensation, what are the documents? Now, in particular, the death certificate is obviously one in case of a death, but other than that, what else should they keep?
It's FIR because first information
Yeah,
report
like you said.
filed by the management. Some accident happened in near a machinery, and the machinery malfunction of machinery when the death occurred. The management should file a FIR before the particular concerned police station and get an FIR. By the FIR is the first copy of, about the accident and the death certificate subsequently, and the salary slip and the appointment order and the employees proof.
okay. All right. Also, finally, sir, what kind of compensation are we looking at? Is there any sort of a difference in terms of gender? Because if supposing it's the breadwinner of the family, like a male, and he's the only earning member in the family, and unfortunately, if he tends to probably pass away in an unfortunate accident, so what kind of compensation does the rest of the family get? And what is the case in the case of a female if she dies?
More or the same, because where the compensation, particularly most of the cases, it's there is a rules in Workmen Compensation Act and the Motor Vehicles Act for accidents. The accidents compensation can be claimed on two grounds: on the age of the deceased and the income.
Okay.
Income he derived from the ordinary employee, the ordinary fourth level employee can draw only 10,000 rupees. In the case of management executive, he may draw 25,000 rupees to 40,000 rupees.
Is the nature
So
of the death also one of the criteria?
No.
No.
No, it's only one line. It is occupational death.
That's all right.
That's all. And you can claim compensation on the basis of age of the deceased and the income.
Time for a quick break on Bill of Rights, but on the other side, we tell you how one student was literally left homeless after the college she was studying in shifted locations without giving her alternate accommodation. Stay with us.